Mike Tenay. Mike, it's great to have you on Saturday night. You and I trying to fill the shoes of Tony Schiavone. I don't think there's enough of us between us to fill the shoes of the American Nightmare, Dusty Rhodes.
Well, Scott, it's great to join you, and it's great to be associated with a program like WCW Saturday Night on TBS, which has such a strong history and tradition behind it. A couple of factors that I think Dusty Rhodes may have forgotten when he sold out at the recent WCW sold-out pay-per-view event.
To coin a phrase, Dusty Rhodes did sell out to the New World Order. He chased the money. Maybe he's got a couple of unpaid buffet bills out there, but Dusty Rhodes is rolling in it, but he sold out everybody and is no longer on WCW Saturday Night. We're going to start off our first Saturday night, Mike Tenay, with the Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, taking on the NWO pledge, Louie Spicolli.
Well, I guess you'd almost have to refer to Louie Spicolli as Scott Hall's flunky. Relatively new to World Championship Wrestling, but Louie Spicolli still quite experienced in the United States, as well as in the Lucha Libre style that he wrestled when he was down in Mexico. We think back just about a week and a half ago when Louie Spicolli really burst on the scene and he broke the golf clubs of Larry Zbyszko. Then it sold out. The interference on the part of Louie Spicolli when Larry Zbyszko had Scott Hall locked in that guillotine chokehold.
And Louie Spicolli, a big part of what happened to the living legend Larry Zbyszko at Sold Out when Dusty Rhodes turned his back on everyone. I hope, and I think I speak for you, Mike Tenay, that Hacksaw Jim Duggan exacts a little revenge on Louie Spicolli of the New World Order. You know, the New World Order is in disorder thanks to the Macho Man, Randy Savage. We've seen this. I don't know, the guy's come unhinged. I don't know what you call Randy Savage. Is he part of the NWO? He's not part of WCW. He may be the lone wolf out there, but he is stirring it up in the NWO.
Well, I think lone wolf is probably the proper term to use. It's obvious that he still has some association with the NWO, but as we've seen over the course of the past couple of weeks, the New World Order really seems to be coming apart at the seams. And I think you can all trace that back to Starrcade, when Sting defeated Hollywood Hulk Hogan to win the WCW World's Heavyweight title, a belt, a championship that is now held up. However, we will decide the WCW World's Heavyweight title February the 22nd at Super Brawl.
It's coming up on pay-per-view. We will be at the Cow Palace in San Francisco for once and for all. Who is the real World Heavyweight Champion? Hollywood Hogan or Sting? You'll want to call your cable company and order Super Brawl 8 on February 22nd. Hacksaw Jim Duggan standing tall in the ring as Louie Spicolli makes his way back in. Spicolli reminds me, Mike, you remember the old cartoon? The little dog probably weighed about 48 ounces, and then the big bulldog, and the little dog used to bounce around and bark and yip and whatever at the big bulldog. That's what Spicolli is. He's the little dog in this thing. Scott Hall's the bulldog.
Well, it's obvious that Spicolli is trying to work his way into a full-time position with the NWO. The opposition this week on Saturday night provided by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a true American patriot and really tried and true when it comes to his association with WCW.
They're lined up around the building here in Thibodaux, Louisiana to see some main event action on WCW Saturday night. Still to come, Steve Mongo McMichael and Kidman of Raven's Flock. That's later on. And in the main event, Mike, Ming takes on the unbelievable and unstoppable Bill Goldberg.
And one more undefeated Bill Goldberg. And I think this will probably be the stiffest test to date for Goldberg when he faces the Monster Ming. Big advantage for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Has Spicolli in trouble and drives those big right hands into the head.
That's a sick shirt that Spicolli's got on, but it's inside out, I think. Well, this guy's really a rocket scientist in there. Can't even put his shirt on the right way, and he wants to be part of the NWO. Well, he's in.
Hacksaw has Spicolli turned inside out in this matchup, rearing back on that reverse chin lock. Awfully close to the ropes here. I don't think Spicolli even realizes where he's at. He's pretty close to the ropes and could get a rope break. Now Duggan turns him around and brings him back to the middle of the ring.
Louie Spicolli. Oh, the big forearm from Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And Jim Duggan.
Be careful.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Jim Duggan putting his hands on Billy Silverman. Do not do it.
Yeah, we've seen problems with abusive officials, especially as it pertains and relates to Scott Steiner.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's, 4 occasions that Scott Steiner has been tagged with a $5,000 fine.
Wow.
As WCW officials, in particular, Nick Lambros and James J. Dillon, are laying down the law as that pertains to both WCW and NWO competitors. And Hacksaw Duggan drives a series of big right hands into the head of Spicolli.
And Spicolli staggering from one turnbuckle to the other, and Duggan giving him a quick introduction to that top turnbuckle.
Repeatedly face first into the top turnbuckle, and down goes Spicolli.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan standing tall in the center of the ring. Spicolli, he's going to shoot Louie across. Waits on him. Duggan, big body slam coming up. Drops him in the center of the ring. That's the high sign.
And springs off with the knee drop.
The cover. Count of 1, 2, and 3. And the Hacksaw. Jim Duggan starts us off on Saturday night with a victory over the pledge of the NWO, Louie Spicolli.
And an impressive win it is for Hacksaw as we open up Saturday night. The former footballer at SMU, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, gains the win with a move that he calls Old Glory. That flying knee drop, that leads to the 3 count.
And Jim Duggan with a victory starts us off. Still to come, big tag team action. Coming up next, it's on WCW Saturday night.